Okay. The history of courts and jurisdiction within Canada. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada has many legislation and sections within. In 1867, it was the Constitution Act. The act was similar to the United Kingdom's Magna Carta, Bill of Rights, and protections of citizens from arbitrary actions of government. In 1882, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms placed some litigations and limitations on supremacy of Parliament. Sections 91 and 92, it legislated federal and provincial jurisdictions of many areas. Section 91 divided federal, and Section 92 divided provincial areas. The Peace, Order, and Good Government, or POGG, gave federal residual power to make legislation and creation of statutes, and included in the Constitution. This had jurisdiction in three main groups: legislative, judicial, and executive. In federal parliament supremacy, legislative actions like statutes had an executive, prime minister, cabinet minister, and civil bureaucrats. The judicial had premier of individual provinces and territories interpreting legislation, managing case law. Both had jurisdiction implementing law in their own sector. Provincial bylaws, for example, were taken to premier jurisdiction where they are implemented municipal, and federal statutes were jurisdiction federal through parliament by prime minister. The basic system: a mayor of a city, a province has a premier, and a country has a prime minister. They all have cabinet. It's helpful to understand if you can see it laid out in a map, but it's a basic concept, and it really is implemented at this point really well for the amount of information that populations have with such technology these days. You can't get away with so much anymore because people know almost right away in the news or on their phone. It's updates to the public. And they look real dumb for marijuana law right now in Canada. They do. Not going to say more because they're already embarrassed enough. I'm not even going to touch it with a 40-foot pole. But the legislations around jurisdiction of law, the province, the federal, and the municipal of cities and rural areas, is generally a really good concept to get your hands on. To know if you have a dispute worthy of provincial or federal jurisdiction, it's usually national security risk that would go federal, or expensive things over $35,000 would go to provincial. Anything under $35,000, $5,000 or less, is a civil dispute at a municipal level of a regular court order. Thank you.